if we're introing, am I introing the show? And what is the name of our show?
Damn.
The Element Show. That Element Show.
That Element Show.
Element car stuff. P2646.
This guy.
That's a good name.
This is the Outdoor Element Show. My name is Stephen Camardella. I am the owner of Element Society. We have been involved with the Element community since 2018. I've owned my Element since 2016. I own a 2007 Honda Element EX, all-wheel drive with a manual transmission. And mostly we just run Element Society, and we try to create events and community with other Element owners. So you can find us at Element Society on Instagram. My personal vehicle, or our personal vehicle, is also under at silver.line.e on Instagram. We also have a Facebook page, which we use to keep everybody up to date with our events and our upcoming meets. So you can follow us there as well. And that's about it.
I am Miguel Angel from Element Lifestyle, and I own two Elements. I own a 2005 and a 2004 Honda Elements for around 2 years. And I run a YouTube channel which is Element Lifestyle. Make sure you follow me in YouTube and also on Instagram as element_lifestyle.
My name's Joseph Ramirez. So I own a 2004 Honda Element, the green one that everybody has seen. Well, most people have seen. It's lifted, not sure how high it is, to be honest with you. And it is engine swapped. Has the K24A, the 3-lobe, the RBB engine. It is a 6-speed manual with a front LSD. So at Element 44, what I do is we manufacture and fabricate parts, and we also work on customer vehicles. We do a lot of engine swap, suspension, just take care of regular maintenance on mostly Elements. I also own a 2008 Honda Element SC. Nothing really special on that one. It's just a daily driver. I just use that one as a shop vehicle to get to and from, and pick up engines, transmissions, whatever whatever's needed for the shop. That one, any future plans, might be a street build, we'll see. But it is automatic. I do want to convert it into a 6-speed manual in the future. Might do all-wheel drive with that one. So we'll see. We'll see where this project takes us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What else was?
I think that's it.
Was it?
Your Instagram.
All right.
So for the shop Instagram, or for more shop information, you can find it on Instagram, Element44 Workshop. And yeah, just direct message me through there with any of your questions, concerns, or ideas.
The reason I got into Honda Elements was kind of an unusual situation. My Honda Element is silver, and it's called the Silver Line E, or the Silver Lining, because I actually bought it after I got into a pretty serious motorcycle accident. And so the Element was the silver lining of that situation. I picked the Element because at the time we had a large dog that we wanted to bring out with us, and that was kind of the driving factor. But I kind of had a short list of things that I wanted in a vehicle at the same time. I wanted it to be manual. That was important to me. I needed some kind of four-wheel drive. Didn't necessarily have to be like a full-on four-wheel drive with a low range. But I wanted something that could get us a little bit further off the beaten path, and something that we could camp in with the dog. So myself, my fiance, and the dog. And there wasn't really anything that ticked all of the boxes. I wanted something that was also super reliable and something that got relatively decent gas mileage, because I was only going to have one car and it was going to be my daily driver to get to work. So, that kind of nixed all of like the giant trucks like Land Cruisers, 4Runners, lifted stuff. Like obviously those are very capable vehicles that have the space, but in terms of gas mileage, that's kind of why I went a different route. On the other end of the spectrum, I was kind of looking at like the Ford Transit Connect, and maybe a couple like all-wheel drive minivans, but all of those didn't come in manual. And the only thing that really like fit that bill was the Honda Element at that time. Early on when they came out, like I thought they were an interesting vehicle, but I never like had the visual appeal wasn't really that high for me. I would say that's grown like exponentially since I've owned an Element, since it kind of started with the practicality of it and the fact that it hit all the boxes. And then once I got into them, then I really started to like understand them, and I really now enjoy like every facet of them. Obviously, we're doing a show about them, so that's why we got into it. So I'm
Sweet.
happy to be part of the Element crew. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. There you go.
So the way I got my Element is I wasn't really looking for an Element. I didn't know about the Element much. I was having different like options, and one of them was the Ford Transit T1500 or T150, I believe. And actually I got one,
Oh yeah.
and I returned it because they gave me like a week to try and stuff like that. I mean, I did a lot of research about that one, and when I got it, I thought it was like way too big for me, for my needs. And anyways, I returned it. I was like, what car should I get next, you know? And then I saw this ad in Facebook. It says mechanic special 05 all-wheel drive Honda Element for $2,500. And I was like, oh, that's a good deal, and it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
When I saw the ad and I noticed that it was an all-wheel drive, then I started looking into the Elements more. And just similar to what you mentioned is, I thought like the gas mileage was like a big factor for me, and those Elements, I think for the gas mileage was pretty okay compared to other vehicles. And I contacted the guy. He wanted $2,500 for him, and I got it. So from there, everything started. Like I ended up buying so many Elements in the long run, you know, like in 2 years.
Yeah.
So like I said, I didn't know about the Elements, and then I just learned so much about them while having a few of them during the course of like 2 years.
Was your first Element? I'm gonna ask a real quick question before we get to you, Joseph. Your first Element, was that the blue one that we saw on your channel?
Yes.
The one with the blue panel. It was a silver
Yes,
with blue
it was
panel.
the silver blue panel, like really good condition.
Okay.
I really loved that Element a lot.
Yeah.
It was hard to let it go at first, but you know, I gotta move on, buy more Elements, and yeah, that's how I got into the Elements.
All right.
I will say, just by accident, kind of.
Gotcha.
And now it's the only vehicle I see myself driving.
You got a lot of them now.
I know.
How about you, Joseph?
Oh man. Okay. So prior to the Element, my ex-girlfriend and I, we would camp a lot.
Okay.
Right? We would camp a lot. The vehicle that we were using to camp was my 2007 Honda Civic Si sedan. Right? Lowered. Everything.
Lowered.
Yeah.
Hard mode.
Car. Yeah. So it was I had a trailer hitch receiver to it. So we would pull our bikes, because we rode supermotos together. So we would tow the bikes with that car and all our camping gear and everything inside. So the car was fully slammed, you know. But
Yeah.
dude, the car was amazing. I missed that car. So, you know, 80 miles an hour, cruise control,
Yeah.
AC,
Yeah.
still getting 20, 25 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
bro. It was like the ideal camping traveling vehicle minus the capabilities of going off road, right?
Yeah.
On the trail.
Yeah.
So that was always our like limitation. That was always the limitation. Like, okay, we can go camping, but we have to find somewhere where, you know, we're not.
Right.
So my best friend, Izzy, he was interested in the Elements. He's the one that actually mentioned them to me. And he was like, hey, I know you and, you know, that you guys like camping. Look, you should get one of these. And he showed me a Honda Element. I was like, bro, what am I going to do with this? Like, what are you trying to have me buy, you know? Like, number one, just, how am I going to tow the bikes?
Yeah.
You know? Number two, it's like, at the time when we first had the conversation, I thought they were only automatics.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I need something that's manual transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's all-wheel drive, cool, but is there a manual?
Yeah.
And once he told me yes,
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
you know? So, yeah, he's the one that got me into them. I started, like, doing my research, and it took me almost a year to find the one I currently have, my 2004 Element.
Wow.
It took me almost a year. And then I was really forced to, like, look for one once my vehicle got crushed. Once my SI got crushed by a tree in Ontario by the airport.
Ouch.
So I, unfortunately, that car, it was a total loss,
Yeah.
I had just taken out full coverage a month prior because I was like, I'm not going to need full coverage.
Yeah.
And then a tree boof,
Yeah,
takes it
Of
out.
course.
That's when I was like, okay, I lost everything on the car, so I had to part it out. And then I was forced to, like, now really look for an Element. Because the Element was never, I'll get one when I get one,
Right.
kind of thing, right? But then when I was really like, okay, now I don't have a car. I just have motorcycles, but I don't have a car. I can't do this, I really had to buckle down. But from that point on, from October, that my vehicle got crushed by that tree, until May or June, the beginning of June, the end of May. The end of May is when I found the right one. It took me forever to find a manual transmission, all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And every other one that I've seen was, in Oregon or in Washington. It was outside the state, so I didn't want to travel to get one.
Right.
But then it started, the more I looked, it's like, okay, it might just have to be that. I
Yeah.
might just have to travel for it, to
Right.
go pick one up.
Right.
Found a couple of them locally, and then before I got this Element, I went to see one an hour prior,
Oh, really?
and I actually liked it. It was a 2007, 2006 in the color blue, whatever that blue is,
Okay.
Yeah.
Manual
Manual trans, all-wheel drive. The deal didn't go through because as soon as I got there, I asked for the key. I want to check it out. I didn't like it. There was a lot of little things that the camera didn't show when I got there. And the lady that was helping us, she actually ended up just, like, taking the key away from me. Because she was like, hey, are you so-and-so? And I'm like, no, I'm actually not. Oh, sorry. That one's already, somebody left a deposit.
Oh, wow.
So then I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm already out here in, where was it? In Glendora.
Okay.
I'm already out here in Glendora. I was going to see the green one originally anyways. I found this other one prior, just
Right.
hours before. So I went to go see the green one, and the guy was cool. The guy had it as a shop vehicle, right? So it had super low miles. When I
Oh,
purchased the car, it only had 78,000 miles.
Ooh, wow.
But they used it as a shop vehicle, had no rear seats,
Okay.
Steelies,
Yeah.
So yeah, Steelies, cracked tires, everything. Like, it was all there, minus the things that I, like, okay, I didn't know, the rear seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
whatever. It was fine. I paid almost $8,000 for that car.
Yeah.
But AC worked.
I mean, that's a good.
Manual trans.
Yeah.
78,000.
78,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
So for that time, because mind you, this happened in what was it, 2021?
Mhm.
So yeah, I purchased it, bought the car, kind of disappointed with it.
Yeah.
I got kind of upset with it as soon as I got on the freeway.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
found some shortcomings.
Yeah. No cruise control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
I was like,
Yeah.
looking for the cruise control. Hey, where is it at?
Yeah.
I looked for it. I pulled over. I was like, is there a hidden but Googled it.
Yeah.
Dang, this car doesn't come with cruise control.
Not yet.
Not yet. And I was like, damn, wait. So the vehicle that I bought to replace the Civic
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to travel in and tow the bikes and everything doesn't have cruise control. The one thing, the one thing I wanted.
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, that's how I got into them. And then ever since then, it's just like I still had my Civic at home crushed. So a lot of those parts of that car, seats, some of the transmission parts, honestly, some of the engine parts, those cars now, or those parts now, are transferred to this one.
Gotcha.
Because I worked so hard for that Civic.
Yeah.
And then that Civic was everything to me because, you just build a bond with your cars,
Sure. Yeah.
I know we do.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about Miguel. I'm joking. But, yeah, it was just like within that first week, I was already trying to figure out how to put the SI seats in there.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go on a trip a month and a half after I purchased it.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, wow, this is a perfect time to test out the car, see
Yeah.
how it does on gas, blah, blah, blah. I changed out the wheels, put new tires on, did the SI seats for now. I just made it comfortable, made it a comfortable car because it was a shop vehicle. So it was a little dirty, here and there. But no, that first road trip that we took, I really fell in love with the car because it was just so, yeah, it wasn't as fast. Yeah, there's no cruise control. But being able to just, let's just pull over right here and we'll just, go to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
there's a trail right there. Now we can go through the trail.
Right.
And it's all-wheel drive, so I started learning real quick, like, what the capabilities were.
Right.
The first off-roading trail that we took was out in Shasta, and that one was actually a little challenging. So I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? At least I know a guy that can fix the car in case something breaks,
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, and that's when it really surprised me. But I was left with the itch of, like, I need more power. And that's how it all just escalated. But that was my first element. Sorry.
Nice.
Long story.
No, it was great.
Yeah, and then the SC that I have, I just acquired that one a few months ago. So, yeah, it's just...
Yeah, I know you got the wheels turning on that one too.
Yeah, that one's, for right now, it's just a shop vehicle just to get to and from. Something I just use on a day-to-day basis. But who knows what the plan, could be. It can escalate to something crazy. You never know.
Yeah.
We're all learning every day more and more about the elements.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the reason, like, we also got involved with the community is because, like, there's a good knowledge base, but there's also, like, a lot to learn. And,
Correct.
And, sharing that information is a lot of fun. But also, like, seeing what we can do with them, like, how we can improve. Like, it's a great vehicle. It was a great vehicle off the lot. But for the types of things that we like to do, there's certain things that we're looking for, like, a little bit more of. And I think that's why we're here, So.
And the Elements, like, it's such an amazing platform because it gives you everything you need to start off with, and then from there you can add your personality into it. What you're into, what do you like doing? Okay, you start modifying to your specifications,
Right.
And there's no wrong way to do it.
Right.
There's no wrong way. There's plenty of companies out there that offer, really good products
Right.
that any one of us can use. So that's why like in this whole community, I wanted also I actually enjoy being with you guys because you guys are full of good information, good help. And then being able to do this, it's like we can now share that information,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a pretty cool thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also great, like, what you're doing in terms of offering aftermarket stuff. Like, for the longest time, the Element didn't really have much of an aftermarket. Like, it had the stuff that you could swap over from other Hondas, right? But there wasn't a giant breadth of parts that you could pick, or even, like, different types of builds you could do. You're kind of limited. But now it's definitely expanding with, like, companies like Element 44 that are making, like, really solid off-road parts that are really off-road focused. And that's really nice to see because it's just increasing the variety that you can get out of Element builds, because there's street tuned, and then there's now that you can do, like, full off-road builds, and you can get you can get into a lot of trouble with them at this point.
Yeah, you can. You can. And see, everything that I do at the shop is not just focused for off-road, but it's more focused for like, can I offer something that's a good replacement at a reasonable value.
Yeah.
Like a reasonable value, but I'm the kind of guy that likes durability.
Right.
Like if I'm going to pay for something, is it really going to be better than OEM? You know? And then if anything were to happen, how easy is it to replace or maintenance?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So those are the things I look at because, you know, there has been companies with, you know, in the Honda community where they come in, they sell you a product, and then they're gone.
Right.
And then you're left with like, crap, I need to service this part.
Right.
What do I do? You know, where do I find it? Now you're searching for that exact part or replacement part, and you can't.
Right.
So that's always been my thing. Like, and what I'm trying to do is, I'm just trying to show people like, these cars, you can do whatever you want to them. The possibilities are there, and here's like, look, here's an example.
Right.
You know, so then hopefully that motivates other people that want to get into, you know, fabrication, production, design, whatever. They're just like, okay, yeah, it's doable.
Right.
You know, it's doable. Like, everybody has something to offer.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's creative in their own ways.
Yeah.
And, dude, I just want to see, you know, we're starting something. We're just showing, like, what the element is capable of, you know.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, yeah, like, when I searched up any off-road parts, anything that, like, dude, super limited.
Right.
Super limited on what was out there. And it's like, the more people that can offer parts for these, because some people design their own stuff, you know, their own cabinets, their own, you know, they do their own wiring harnesses for, you know, their inverters or whatnot. Like, dude, all that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
the more we can acquire to, like, learn.
Yeah. The more the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say that's one of the top one thing I like from the element is the community.
Yeah.
And everything like just different people have to offer, like you guys, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things like why I really love the Honda element because of the community.
Yeah, I mean, the community for the Honda element is definitely special. Like, even amongst car groups, like, it's really different. It's a different way of thinking, and it kind of attracts a certain type of person that is, you know, wanting to test things out or might have slightly different ideas. You know, maybe that's because there wasn't a healthy aftermarket, and so people weren't just buying like the same parts from the same manufacturer, saying like, okay, like I did a build by buying these parts. It required more ingenuity to like say, oh, you know, what do I want to do with this, and how can I get there? And I think that's why people learn so much. But it's also like a very friendly community. Like, it brings in a lot of different types of people, like and even different people that you don't normally see in car groups. You know, car groups are, you know, generally male dominated, and you know, they're very performance focused, which we are still focused on performance. But there's also people that are just like, you know, I want to make it more reliable, or I want to be ready to do a trip at a moment's notice.
Correct.
Even if it's bone stock, you know, there's still things that you can do to improve that experience. That isn't necessarily performance. Even doing like a rear hatch release is a big deal for us, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, because you sleep in the back and you can't open the back. It's like,
Yeah.
I learned that one.
You
quick.
figured that out real quick.
real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, next mod.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure. The
lives.
community is really healthy, and that's probably one of the best things about the Honda Element. Is just like the community is really, really awesome, and it has been for a really long time. So,
Yeah.
And talking about the community, I know there are two big events coming soon, right?
Yeah.
One is Tale of the Dragon. The other one is the PNW.
Right.
So I think it will be an interesting topic to talk about, like detailing their car. Everybody wants
That's right.
their elements to look nice and clean in the day of the show, of the show, you know, or the meet.
Yeah.
So you guys
That's right.
have any advice for detailing, cleaning,
Yeah.
especially that you guys do a lot of off-roading?
It's true. We do get our cars pretty dirty. Yeah, I mean, it's true. The summer is getting here pretty quickly. We're kind of already in summer, almost. And there's some big events coming up, and we got to make sure they're pretty clean for when we get there. So, for detailing wise, I am not a super amazing detailer by any means, but I've actually been learning about this pretty recently because I've wanted to get better at it. Because I'm not greatest with car care in terms of like exterior paint care, right? So I've been learning just some basic stuff, what you need, like the basics of what you do need and the stuff that you don't need and the things that you kind of get sold over time. And, the big thing that I definitely don't do, well, also because I have a roof rack, is I don't go into automated machines, especially the ones with the big, swirly turners, because they tend to mess up your paint pretty bad. They can, and once you're out the other end, you can't really do anything about it. So I at least go for a touchless wash, but then most of the time I like to do like a self-serve wash where you can kind of dictate how you're cleaning it. The hard part about those is like paint contact. That's kind of like the big thing in the detailing world, right? Is trying to have as little contact with the paint as possible and only doing the things that are necessary to make it like perfectly clean. So we generally what I do, especially after like an off-roading trip, is I will bring it to like a pay stall and I'll wash it myself just so I can pay a little bit more attention to what I'm doing. I'm thinking about just going into a full like hand wash at home now, but I'm still like researching about that. But yeah, what about you, Miguel?
I'm not really good at detailing in general, but I think that just like washing your own car in those like washers machines is a good way to know your element or your car. You can know every like corner if you have a scratch in your paint or what it needs to be replaced, what it needs to be like just detail it better.
Yeah.
So same as when you water your own engine, you know your car.
Right.
It works the same as the outside.
Right.
And you can experiment with different chemicals. For some like chemicals or products will work for some people or it won't for other. I think it really depends of like what kind of drive do you do during the week. If it's your daily drive and you're just driving from home to work or get groceries, maybe you can shine it really nice. But if you're off-roading, you might don't want those like oily products, right? Because the dust will stick in your paint. But I think it really depends of your the way you use your element.
Yeah.
And the other thing like I noticed for me, and I get a lot of compliments from people, is like, how do you keep your car so clean? Even like I come back from a trip. One is just like being regular, like as you do the oil change on your cars, depends like 3,000, 5,000 miles. It's pretty much when it comes to detailing a car. If you keep it clean at least once, twice a week, you don't really have to do much. Maybe you can do a nice detailing every year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think it's a good way to know your car and keep it clean, make it smell good inside.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a clean freak when it comes to the inside of my element.
Yeah.
Like I do a camping trip, before I go to sleep, I will clean my element. And then the next day, also I will clean my element. Because I'm doing this all the time, is something that it takes me like 2 minutes to do. And then when I get home after a long trip, I don't really have to do much, just wash it. And
So when you're talking about cleaning before going to bed, what does that entail? Is that just like making sure nothing's around and like throwing it away, or is that like dusting?
For example,
and vacuuming?
first it's like organizing stuff.
Yeah.
And then the second one will be if I see like little rocks or something that needs to be picked, I just pick it up. Or I have like a little brush that I always carry with me, like a little broom. And then
Does
I
it have a little like dustpan?
yes, exactly, with like a dustpan, and I got a small spray water bottle, and basically those two things does the magic to have my element clean. Especially like I car camp a lot. I don't want to sleep in a mess,
Yeah.
I rather clean it, spend like the 2 minutes to clean it before I go to bed, and when I wake up, it just feels good. I hike a lot, so after like hiking a few miles, I just go to a clean car. It feels like home.
Yeah.
So That's what I usually do
All right.
in my element.
Good to know.
And how about you, Joseph?
Oh man. Oh. So I am terrible at detailing. That's not my strength. So the green element, yeah, I don't really wash it. I don't really wash it. I mean, Mother Nature will, but I won't. Like, I'll wash it probably once every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know? I don't really. I mean, it has chips, has dents, front bumper's a little, a little hit here and there. Rear bumper too. That one's banged up a little bit. Inside, when we go on long trips,
Yeah.
or we all get together at one of the element meets, then yeah, I'll clean the inside a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't smell like butt cheeks. And we're good,
That's
you
good.
know?
That's a good.
As
That's
long
a
as
good.
yeah,
Barrier.
as long as that's, yeah. And then the other element, yeah, I don't really wash it either. Once in a while.
Yeah.
But I'll keep the inside clean. Just don't look in the trunk. Have a lot of, boxes, stuff, the shit, But, yeah, it's just, I don't have a camper setup in my element.
Mm-hmm.
I just throw in a cot, some of my stuff, and then, sleep.
Yeah.
Very basic, very minimalistic. So it's, if I had a nice setup, then yeah, I think I'd be a little more,
Yeah.
detail oriented with it. But since I don't really use it. I only use the element to really, just off road here and there, and then just travel with it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't ever find the urge like, oh yeah, I gotta clean my car. It's a little dirty.
Yeah.
Like, just don't look at the paint too close.
Do you guys do anything special, like when there's a meet coming up, where like people are going to be looking closely at your element?
No, I don't. I will be honest with you. I don't care.
Okay.
It's intended to be used, in my opinion. My vehicle's intended to be used.
Yeah.
And whoever decides to throw a rock at my car from spinning their wheels in front of me,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
If it breaks the windshield, if it chips the hood, if it bangs on the bumper, if it breaks my headlight, grill, whatever it is, it's all part of it, And each and every single one is a nice reminder, like, oh, I remember that one time.
Builds character.
Builds
right?
character.
Right.
Yeah, have a couple dents here and there, chips pretty bad,
Yeah.
But that element is full of character. Has a lot of stories it could tell,
Yeah.
Now that's why, like, I'll wash it here and there when it's like, okay,
Yeah. Now it's like,
come on,
too
man.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on, now you can't see out of your front windshield kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a wash.
Yeah.
So I'll wash it here and there. But I know you guys enjoy the outdoor livings, and you say you guys can get out of their elements, so it's completely understandable. Everybody's different.
Right.
That's the cool part about it.
Yeah.
My element's a little more. It likes being abused a little
Yeah.
bit.
But I mean, I think that's also good to remember. Like,
Mhm.
your car has a certain personality
Correct.
that you attribute to it, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to the meet, like, you're okay with showing that personality rather than
Yeah.
saying like, oh, this is like
Yeah.
how it is all the time. You're giving people that kind of real experience of
Yeah.
what your element is, right?
Yeah.
I think that we flip flop when we go to meets, and like usually it comes down to time. Like, if there's time to really spend the time to detail it and clean it, I will do it. But if there's no time, like, I'm also not super upset about it because like we use it, like
Yeah,
use
you
it
guys
for
use it.
camping. Like, it's gonna have our camper setup in it. We're gonna try to make it presentable somewhat, but we're not gonna go do a full detail
Correct.
just to go to a meet.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that's good to remember, because like I think that there's other people like that want to come out to meets, and maybe they feel like their element is like not nice enough to come to a meet. And I think that's not how like the element community rolls.
No,
Like, we just want to see people like show up with their elements and tell us about like why they're excited about
I
it.
have heard people say that. They've told me, well, I don't feel like my element's anything special. I'm like, dude, the element's the element, right?
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of those there.
Yeah.
But each and every single person has some information that they can share with you.
Right.
And everybody's like, you're gonna find somebody that you're gonna have a nice conversation with, and you'll be like, damn, I'm really glad I came out.
Yeah.
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 At the end of the day, it's just like it's who you meet, right? Obviously because of the car, but who you meet. Like, everybody's special in their own way,
Yeah.
And that's what I get out of the community.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, the car's the car, but maybe meet somebody that needs a little bit of help with something.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they've been trying to figure out an issue and it's like, well, I'm glad I can offer that help,
Right.
you know? Or, hey, I wanted to install, you know, this power setup like what he has, and, you know?
Yeah.
What jackery do you think I should buy? You
Yeah.
know, and then you have this whole conversation and now you lead the person the right way, you
Mhm.
know? You give them that information, so... Yeah, I always tell people, just go. Just go.
Yeah.
You, honestly, you're never going to feel like it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I've been to, obviously, I was into the civics and all that stuff, so would always go to those meets, and it was always like this whole, like,
Right.
clash. Like, screw that guy, he's slow. You know what I mean? There's always that. And then here, you don't have any of that.
Right.
You always
Everybody's slow. Except for maybe you.
No, it's still slow. It's still slow. But, you know, it's like something, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. I reach out to him. I reach out to you. I reach out to other people for help,
Yeah.
for information. So it's like, dude, it's for the people. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I get out of it. So
That's a great point.
yeah.
Miguel, what about you? For meats, do you do anything special? For your
Yeah,
own?
for me, it's definitely my interior. I usually clean, but I try to clean it a little bit more than
Yeah.
usually it is.
If
Yeah.
you're cold, go into his element.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a living room.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is a home on wheels for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we were hanging out, no? Like
We
last
were.
trip.
We were.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had dinner.
And
inside.
we did ton of running with Steven a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I just really like the look of all the dirt that I got.
Yeah.
So I think if I have like a cool dirt look sometimes after of running, I will just bring my element like that
Mhm.
to the meetup.
Mhm.
But once in a while I watch it too. It comes to like me having free time too.
Right.
So, but if you ask me, will you like detail it before a meetup? If I do have the time, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you on that one. Is there anything like when you go through your detailing process for a meet, and assuming you have the time, what is like the most critical thing that you think is like? What do you do that you have to hit? There's only one thing that you can do out of that detailing process.
I
What
would
do
say
you do?
just look clean.
Yeah.
Sometimes I add some like wax and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as it's clean, I think it just shows like the true look of your car.
Yeah.
Mostly in the daily basis, you know.
What I like about his is that not everything's greased up inside. You know.
Yeah.
Or it's like you can
Yeah,
go in there and you can
exactly.
like lean on something and you're not gonna end up with like a streak of, you know,
Like stuff on it.
yeah,
on your
like
arm.
detailing
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like,
Yeah, I think
Love it in there.
that's
Yeah.
definitely some of the difficulty that I've had is like using products in the past and they didn't give you the results you wanted, and then it's just like I don't know if I want to do that anymore. Like I want to still make it usable and not feel like it's either too greasy or like too clean to use. So, are there any like products that you guys go to like, you know, that you turn to? Or, like this is definitely the thing that I use for my element.
There is not really a product that I always use. I always try to like buy different products and then kind of test it to see what it works good for me.
Yeah.
But in my personal like opinion or preference, I try to avoid like oily, very shiny stuff. Like you just were mentioning.
Yeah.
I want it like I think shiny and oily doesn't means your car is super clean,
Right.
right? Unless somebody can have a really nice shiny car. I mean, I do appreciate that too, but it's just for me.
Yeah.
I just want it clean, like no dust, smells good.
Yeah.
That's what is the most important for me.
You want like a natural look.
Like a
so you don't want
natural
like
look.
super shiny tires. You want like the matte. Like you want the tires to be
Exactly.
clean and kind of like matte polished, but not
Yes.
like the super wet look
Exactly.
type of stuff. Okay, that's fair. Joseph, any go-to stuff?
so well, I always find myself going back to the store and buying. I get it at Walmart. It's by the chemical guys.
Yeah,
It's a yellow bottle. Oh, it's a yellow bottle. No, it's a
so
it's
yellow.
a yellow
liquid.
fluid. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a yellow liquid,
Yeah.
and it's just the interior cleaner.
Oh, the interior detailer.
Yeah, the interior detailer cleaner, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I always get that one,
Yeah,
and I'll just the rag, wipe it down. I'll even use that for the trimming that I have on the outside.
yeah,
I'll use it for that. I feel like it does pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it takes away from that dryness that the plastics are known for,
yeah,
and it just like refurbishes them a little bit. And I'll actually do that when I do wash the car. I'll do that, and I'll just give it like between 2 days. I'll do one wipe, and then the following day I'll just wipe it again,
Oh.
with that same stuff.
Okay.
I think it works pretty good, and it doesn't attract all that dirt or that dust. Sorry, it doesn't attract all that dust, and it keeps the plastics from drying out. You
Yeah.
know, but I found that one's been like my favorite so far.
Yeah.
I don't really detail my car, but that's the one thing that I do, just like real quick.
Yeah.
And it doesn't leave any of the parts feeling.
Right. There's no residue.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, oh crap, now I can't touch that because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've used that stuff too. I actually still have some of it right now, and I do really like it because it doesn't leave a residue. It smells good.
it smells good. Yeah.
And I think it works pretty well. And it's really easy to get too, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah.
I think you brought up a good point though about the plastics on the outside. So it sounds like your go-to is the interior detailer, but you use it for the plastics.
I
on the
use it for the
outside.
plastics on the outside. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I use that.
Miguel, do you use anything special for the plastics on the outside?
Yes, for the plastic outside, I just use it like every a year and a half because it lasts a lot. It's called a solution.
Solution
I forgot
finish?
the name. Yeah, solution finish. That
Okay.
one.
Yeah, that seems like a
Yes.
go-to in the
I
LA
love
community.
that one.
Yeah?
I never try other ones, but day one I saw like in a Facebook group, somebody recommended. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
My plastics looks like very good, and
I need to try that.
like I said, a year and a half still
Yeah.
looks.
Wow, a year and a
looks-
half.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And I noticed that if you even have gray panels, you can use the black one. It looks better
Oh, really?
with the black solution finish.
Oh, because they have two different solution finishes.
Yes, they
one that's
have the gray one and the black one, but I
Oh,
think you
okay.
get better results with the black one, even that you apply it in the gray one.
Really? Okay.
It looks better too, in my opinion,
Okay.
when you make a little bit more like a black color, darker color.
a little darker. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try solution finish because it comes up all the time in the community of like, this is what I use for
That's
my
what you use
plastics.
too?
No, I use Chemical Guys VRP, which is their vinyl, rubber, and plastic. It's like a gel that you apply to the
Yeah.
outside. It works great and it looks great. The nice thing is that it's like really versatile, so you can use it for tires and for the plastics on the outside. I don't use it on the inside. But the problem is that it doesn't last very long. It only lasts like a week, especially if you get hit with rain. Like
Yes.
it gets kind of streaky, it doesn't look great. So I've been looking at more longer term solutions. So like solution finish is high on my list. I was also looking at Cerakote. There's like the Cerakote wipes apparently last a very long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of my customers, he used that one, and
Yeah.
it looks pretty nice, the finish, but also I think it lasts less time than
Then solution
other
finish?
products.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that a long time ago. So I was on the Element Owners Club forum, which was like its own website a long time ago, which is still active, but it doesn't have a lot of activity going on. And back then, everybody swore by the 303 aerospace protectant. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
No, I never.
But I think Solution Finish now kind of beat that out. So I think that's kind of the go-to. And it seems like we get that question a lot too, like in the community, of like, what do you guys use on your plastics to make them look nice? And it seems like the Solution Finish is the way to
It's
go.
the one to go.
Yeah.
You gotta give me that information after.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I could, yeah, I have some,
Yeah.
so I can give it.
Sweet.
For sure.
I was just thinking about something when you were explaining about the way you clean your car. Did use that Chemical Guys interior cleaner, and I think that was with a combination of a brush. Like I just started using a little brush.
Like a detailing brush?
Yeah, like a detailing brush. I would say for around 4 months, I was like, oh, why I didn't use this like before? It just make it so easy to clean, like inside, outside,
Yeah.
and a good quality vacuum.
A
I
good
just
car.
got a Milwaukee Fuel, like
Oh, nice.
like a pack. I think it's pack out vacuum.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love the vacuum, and it's insane. Like all the money that you can spend if you're thinking about it, paying those machines. Like $1, $2.
Right.
Especially us that we are always
Right.
like car camping or
Going to meets,
off-roading.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure maybe we vacuum our car more than washing our car.
Yeah.
So I think it pays off to have like a really nice, good quality vacuum.
Yeah.
And another thing that I like a lot is like lately, I will say like for a year, there is local companies like they sell like products for detailing, and I will say like every 2 weekends they will organize events where they show you or teach you how to detail your car. I'm not sure if you guys had something similar by your area,
Yeah.
but from where I live in Orange County, it's a lot of this going on, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be good to attend some of those classes. I know Chemical Guys throws that type of thing, like a class, pretty regularly at their shops. Like, they have a bunch of different shops all over Southern California, and I've seen them, like, post up ads about having a class for detailing. And, I mean, obviously, they're going to be using their products, and they want you to use their products, but I think getting the technique down is obviously the most important part of it. Yeah. So, and just with the research that I've been doing lately, like, it's a deep rabbit hole of going into detailing.
That's why I stay out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Ready Set Element, Wilson does
Detailing.
auto detailing, right? And I think he'd probably be a good source of knowledge for some detailing information. Yeah. The last time we just moved to a new place that has a lot of tile, and we ended up getting a steam cleaner. So the last meet, I used the steam cleaner on the Element. And that was actually pretty nice. It was pretty nice to be able to get, like, we have a lot of textured materials inside, so, like, I think the brush helps with that, like, kind of getting into the texture, you know, the arm rests on the doors, and then, like, the floors and stuff like that. But the steam just, like, works super well, and it's just water,
Nice.
you know.
You guys have armors?
Yeah, like
on the door.
on the door.
Yeah.
Because it's like the vinyl thing. It's got like
Oh,
it's got the little texture in it
Yeah.
that's super hard to get like the dirt out of
So
it.
you use a brush on that?
Yes, you can use a
Okay.
brush.
All right.
Yeah.
Start doing that too, because
Yeah, I think like most elements, I seen that mark on that.
Because it's so hard to get clean, man.
Yeah.
Because like you can wipe the top of it, but then, you know, all the little dots have the little channel in between them, so none of that gets clean. So the steam worked really well, and it was nice because it doesn't. You're not like putting chemicals on it. You don't have to worry about like leaving a residue or anything like that. And it kind of just like melts all the dust and dirt.
Really?
And, stuff
And
like
you
that.
don't
Yeah, it's
damage
cool.
any like electronics too and stuff like that, right? If you
Yeah.
go really
Right.
quick on that.
You still gotta be careful in certain areas, but like obviously you don't want to like blast your ECM with steam, but like for the most part, you can get in there pretty good.
Like, oh, my ECM looks really nice and shiny.
I know.
Yeah, so like even though like the upper plastics, so like in the back, in the upper plastics, they're in my car at least they're like they're a lighter gray, and they have like a texture to them, and so they always get dirty, especially when you're like moving stuff or you're like putting big items in, and it's good for the headliner too, which is
Nice.
hard to clean.
It is very hard
Headliners
to
are
clean the
super hard to
headliner.
clean.
Yeah, I'm scared of headliners.
Yeah.
Scared.
Yeah, because
Oh.
headliners are a pain to replace.
Yeah. I mean, on the Element.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
We just cut yours, right? Like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I saw when I was cutting, he was like, he was
Yeah.
shaking.
Because mine was the basic
Yeah.
of the basic one.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have that center console up on top, that upper console thing.
Yeah.
So Miguel was nice enough to gift me one, and he did the install on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you gotta cut my headliner, man. Had me stressing out.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
Yeah,
is
it
scary.
is. I just wanted to mention the last thing because I know we're
Yeah.
kind of running out of time. Is headlights restoration. I will say 90% of elements needs
Yes.
a headlight restoration.
Okay.
So
Headlight restoration. What's your go-to kit for headlight restoration?
it's the $15 Amazon kit. I forget the
$15
name,
Amazon kit.
but that
Okay.
makes magic for me.
I'm gonna push a YouTube channel. There's Project Farm. Did an amazing review on headlight restoration kits. It's a really good review, so you should check that out if you want to do headlight restoration.
Sounds good.
Project Farm on YouTube. Go look at it.
Project Fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
I need to do that too, though. I need to restore my headlights because I did it once and I need to do it again. Anyways, this has been our first episode of Outdoor Elements. So thank you very much,
Thank you, guys.
Joseph and Miguel, for being here and
pleasure.
talking with me. And I look forward to doing this again shortly.
Oh yeah,
Thank you guys again.
I'm excited.
Very excited for it.
All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.